Well, the audio works. Yay.
Yay for
I
that.
didn't touch anything.
And I'm gonna put up,
Still 10 minutes out.
Oh, like your, the, sponsorship class? Maybe, what he's doing, I don't know, he's causing trouble. What are you doing?
What?
What do you got in your hand?
Oh, that's a sign.
Oh, it's one of the banners.
Smart ass.
No, I mean, I couldn't see, I don't have my glasses on, I couldn't see what you were hearing. I wasn't trying to be the trouble
So it's a troublemaker.
now.
There's always a troublemaker.
Hi. Ew.
Ooh.
hey, Ron.
Yeah.
One thing I've been doing, I don't know if it helps, but I think it does, is I put this in front.
You got like a big old lipstick there. You got lipstick right
Me
on your-
quieter, everybody else. is
Okay.
louder.
I warned you. Lip gloss, it goes everywhere.
Microphone. Microphone.
You don't need makeup.
No.
Testing, testing.
Makeup was anymore. I went to a Catholic school, all girls school.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I went to this
Lou.
and he was, they trained me.
Get my position here.
Oh,
Yeah.
my tickets are on me today.
Testing.
Was that your future husband?
Testing. It isn't using that one.
Oh,
It's using the computer.
Just close to Japan, and you can either have a bob hair, or you have to wear a logo, oh, yeah, no, period, yeah. Those are the only options. No, Larry, Jerry, how are you?
Good.
I,
And you know, and
I need it.
That one?
Yeah. Your heart is.
You have that, you have that same option at the very top.
Well, oh, okay. Yeah, finally.
No, I was going to.
I was waiting for her to give me a whole bunch of information.
Testing, testing.
She-
Testing, testing. Well, it's working, so what the heck? Something's working.
Less than 100.
Fishing pig or,
Okay, that's.
Uh,
Well, I mean, like, what do you think would be like?
okay,
Okay, I'll put that.
you know, if we build her,
Okay, for time and labor.
yeah, so.
Okay, all right, I will put a note on there, and we'll make sure that that, I probably do it bar.
She,
We will make sure that that is with this. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
yeah.
You had it, I think, yeah. Okay. Hi, Joyce.
Morning.
Morning. Morning. Good, thanks. It's a small crew tonight.
Yeah, it is.
Anthony said to be here. Thank you, thank you. We had a really good conversation. Really good.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. We did it, how many years ago? We had a computer guy from Argentina.
And the bridesmaids too, where they're not like.
They were just
I
talking
go
about.
back to my.
Yeah.
They look crazy.
So,
Yeah.
anyway.
More local, you said people come to dinner.
Yeah, when the, yes, that was when the.
They,
Whatever it's called.
they-
that crazy club, and they, you know, some people will go on this walk, this other is-
Well, there's 650.
Yes, so they stay with you for.
But then you get to go somewhere else, then you get a chance to go somewhere.
No, it's,
Pretty
so Debbie France has been.
Did they have, vendors there too?
So she is gonna go over to our club.
And did you have root pigs?
Yeah, it is, yeah, we
To
hosted,
give out,
Oh, that's.
Okay. Well, I don't know. No, I got it.
Hi, Jim.
So the next to me,
Yeah.
it was like everything. So, they came a month late, and it said everything great.
You may have been here. One
Yeah.
time we did a dinner, it was just a district.
Ron was
And then
there.
It was just a district thing. People came to someone's house, like 10 to 12 people for a dinner. They didn't sleep overnight.
Yeah, not you say, that's kind of. Well, it was different.
No, that was different. This is what you talk, you guys are conversing about is a sleepover.
Oh, yeah, it's like a 3 or 4 days sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk. with-
Okay. But we did one other time, I think Debbie Frank, we went to their house like 4 or 5 years ago. I think you were here.
So,
And then the district comments, just some people came for dinner, so that was kind of one dinner thing, dinner party. Something totally different.
anyway. So I
Yeah.
thought that Great.
Yeah.
And I got it and tried it on. It's very plain.
I don't know. Well, I gotta tell you.
But then I kept the older trucks. Wow. Very like where.
So she gets two makeup.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then it was.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it all together when all the stuff happens. So it's good.
How many dogs do you have?
And then.
Thought I saw Jason the other day.
Got another.
Yeah, black
That's
cat.
around it. So I,
Yeah.
but it's
The black
black.
one moves very, very slowly.
Well, I won a lot of gold last year. I worked on thing. And so I wanted to do something a little more. And, because, you know, there's no place local that I can go, like, I can afford it, but it's like, you never pay out like. And that's why I brought the garage. So I don't know what I'll do, I haven't even.
not here, James is not here.
It was only $78 for a lot of it, but it was just like. And then.
You wanna be sergeant?
Okay,
Sure.
Printed over the caster fell off the chair at home, but I couldn't go out of the chair. And I'm just like, I'm done. I'm just done. But, you know, that's just one day in the life, right?
Yeah. I'll be thinking about all day.
And then I lost the meeting.
Hey, did David come back for the Super
You
Bowl?
have
Yeah, she did.
72.
And then he flew right on the next day, I guess.
Huh?
So, I'll look into, I'll.
Getting what?
Might as well get this show on the road. All right, Chris is our sergeant at arms today.
We actually checked anybody today.
Yeah, you gotta be working on the files.
So. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Over here, we have, what is this called? Good, good. So,
Things we think, say and do.
thank you.
Sorry.
The first
Is it the throat?
second is the third. Friendship. Yeah, that one.
You're slow on that one.
I got it reverse, forward. Will do.
That's right. Will we remember the first bar?
Right, in order.
No, we won't.
Oh, no,
I won't
either, so, anything else? I
Oh,
think that's it, back to you.
back to me.
Yes.
Okay. All righty, Eileen, let's have some.
Okay, today's quote is: commit to consistency, not perfection. You will get further faster by taking messy action than taking no action at all.
Yeah.
A little heavy for this man, and he's like.
Well, I said this several meetings ago with a similar quote, but
Oh,
My favorite
my
one is-
apologies.
no. I mean, it's a similar concept, but the only people that get anything done at all are the people that make mistakes.
That is very true.
Yeah. Or you could look the other way. The only person that doesn't make mistakes is the one that doesn't try to.
Well, and the quote that says, when I make mistakes, I don't fail. I either learn or I grow. It's the quote
Yeah.
right now.
All
Hold on. Bum, bum, bum.
right, so we do have a guest today, Danielle Jacobson. And she's with Snow Swim School, and she'll be doing a presentation today on learning to swim here in and around Lake Stevens.
I always wanted to do that.
You always wanted to learn how to swim? It's a good thing to know, that's for sure. All right, we have a birthday this week, and it's Steve Carmody. He's not here, but too bad, because it's actually officially today. So that would have been worthy of a sing song, so it's really missing out on a lot. Yeah, we'll catch up. All right, I'm gonna say this is the last call for Luck O' the Irish. As I mentioned before, trying to gauge interest, anybody that's interested in joining a Lake Stevens Rotary group to go to the event on March 16th. Just to let me know, and I'm accumulating any interest, and then I'll communicate back to whoever I've heard from by the end of the weekend. And then we'll give a head count to the people organizing that event.
Where's that at, Norm?
It's at Stilley Center. It's near a Smoky Point area. It's really handy. And it looks like kind of a scary thing. It's kind of an opportunity for a social, but a social with just Snohomish County clubs. So.
Will Gary be in his Irish Snickers? He may, you never know. Might be worth it.
Yeah.
We pay to see that.
No, you don't.
Well, we paid before.
Yeah. Okay, another announcement, it's kind of an interesting one. Linda forwarded a email from Deb. And she's announced that she was selected to be our member for the Rotary International Friendship Exchange. And she's going to Hungary. So that'll, in her case, it'll be September-ish.
Linda's going to Hungary?
No, Deb is. So Linda, but Deb let Linda know because she's the international.
What's your last name?
It's Deb. Deb Brands.
Debbie.
Ah,
Debbie.
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 Debbie Frank.
You said Deb, we didn't know who Deb was.
Debbie.
Debbie. thank you.
That's
Oh, what?
the Deb I meant.
Yeah, oh, well, yeah.
Debbie. Her name was Debbie.
I understand.
Oh,
It's with an E at the end. So, but this brings up another opportunity for our club. And that is that it works two ways. And we could be a host club to individuals from Hungary that will be coming here in late August. And from what I understand, what that entails is us getting basically a few host families or individuals. And basically you'll have visitors for 3 to 4 days is what it comes down to. And the visitors are responsible for their own costs. So there's really no burden to the club other than as hosts, if I'm a host family, we're expected to serve up breakfast for those days, but then the family or the individuals are free to go vacation, essentially, but it's having some overnight guests for a few days. So the exact date is the 25th of August to September 8th. That's when, they'll be here, but once we get it all figured out logistically, it would typically only be 3 to 4 days during that period. And, Tracy has expressed interest in this. I've expressed interest in this. So we may already have 2, but I'm sure we can use more than 2.
We'd be interested.
What was it?
My husband and I would be interested. in
All right,
listening.
there's 3.
And I think
He doesn't know that yet.
Rand said something about he might be interested too.
Okay.
Brother has a question.
He doesn't know it yet.
Amy would like to know what we do with Hungry Bees.
Way to go, Amy.
It's A. Hungry with the A in it.
I'm Gary. For a high five.
It's like a bite of Lake Stevens, you gotta take it here or something?
Yeah.
Oh. Tip the waiter to give you your.
Turned out to be a funny Friday.
Okay, well, it sounds like we definitely have interest, so I'll pursue that through the back channels and find out more about it and what it really means to us if we want to do this. And then, of course, we'll have these individuals attend our meetings, or a meeting, I don't know how many meetings will be in that period, but sounds like fun. All right, I was on vacation last week, so I missed the Lauren Hall G&T event. And I was wondering if anybody could give us an update on how that went.
There's a recap on the website.
I saw that, I read that, but I'm thinking that a verbal recap would be great to have too.
Well, we had our 2 eldest members. We had Joyce there. And we had Lauren, and I'm really ticked off that I didn't get a picture of the 2 of them. Because Joyce being a founding member and Lauren being the eldest. He did say that his daughters are making plans for his 100th birthday. So he says he's going to be around. The cookies that Raquel gave out were wonderful. They look like they had, I wish they had gin in them, but they didn't. But
I did.
They did. Well, you did?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why you stumbled out of
The
it.
write-up said something about gin and tonic cookies.
And Lauren stayed up for the whole thing. Lori really thought that about 6:30, he would do his typical and go to bed. But we probably had 20 people, something like that, that showed up.
Oh,
He
really?
was really ecstatic about the fact that we all showed up at his place. And he seemed to enjoy himself. There was plenty of food provided by Lori. And there was plenty of gin and tonic too. I think we killed his gin and tonic supply though.
And he would love visitors, so please,
Tanqueray.
please go up and visit him.
Yeah, I just show up for the gin and tonic every
There you
night,
go.
right?
Well, I have luck.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for the update. And another question, again, well, now we've got house guests, but I missed the Aquafest meeting yesterday.
We'll
Wondering
report
if
on that a
anybody,
little bit.
okay, you're gonna cover that?
Well, Amy and the mayor were there, so we can cover that a little bit.
Perfect. All right, well then let's go to reports. Jack, do you have any?
Yes.
Okay, all is good.
Thank you, Casey.
Okay, good.
Peachy keen, huh? Thank you, Tracy.
All right, Gary, I noticed that we got some plaques up here.
We do. Since you and I never were able to get some time together to take these out, it did occur to me that we have an opportunity. And the opportunity is for those of you that secured the sponsors, if you would take your plaques and get them to the people that were your sponsors and see if you can get a commitment for the following year or for now. So that's what we came up with. That's what I came up with. Because you and I tried to get some time together and we just didn't, it didn't work out. So there are plaques up there. There's a few, left. I've got some that I'm gonna be delivering this week.
Do we have a form or anything? Yeah. We need to update our donation policy to bring it for this.
I don't know if they've updated it or not.
Thank you.
That's a good idea.
That one belongs. The fillable form, you know, is still probably the same. I don't know, maybe the date has to be changed on it, but.
Yeah, we could still do it and just cross out the date and put the new date in.
Or you go back a second time after the first one and say, hey, you know, by the way, you know, if you get the ask at the first visit, then go back with the one later.
And always, we have to be sure to always offer to send or email the fillable form, because that's obviously a lot more convenient for some people.
And a question about fillable forms.
Mhm.
I have the form for when we give out money,
Donation
the
form.
donation form, and Sarah from, the Lake City Food Bank, she sent it back with it all filled out, but she put her signature in it. Does anybody know how to make a fillable, how do you make it fillable? So I want
Rand can do it for you.
Rand?
You have to do it like through Adobe. Rand can do it. He did it for us, for ours, for
Okay.
Rotary. He can do it.
And then my plan is I'm gonna send that to, our main guys, the senior center, food bank, so, and all of the people that we normally.
Did we ever get the check from the ortho bonus?
That's what the thank you was. I was Guido and I collected the 5,000. The oral surgeon, yeah.
Yes, that's him.
I thought you were talking about membership dues.
But that's typical, right?
It is. He's very busy. Yeah.
Not complaining, that's great.
He had 2 surgeons in his practice, and he's crazy busy, so. And staffing is ridiculous. Wow. I mean, people say, you sign up, yes, I had it Wednesday, we get a working interview and they no show. They don't call, they don't anything, and they just no show. It's like, frick. Sorry, anyway,
So not getting the job.
right. On.
You were a notion?
Ah. Anyway, sorry.
No, that's good. That's good. Good to know.
All right, next board meeting is March 5th, not May 5th, as I said last week. And again, it was a nice turnout. Lauren really appreciated it. And we had a good time. The district conference 2025 committee was supposed to have met on Wednesday, and 2 of the main people couldn't show up. Dave was trying to concentrate on the Arlington group and me, since I was anointed the secretary of the committee. So we will have a follow-up meeting. And Amy, you said you got a call from Dave Duskin?
I got an email, yes.
Okay, and Chris, did you get one?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Wasn't meaning to talk to you about that.
Well, that's what Amy said last night.
Voluntold.
I don't want to be a pinwheel, I just want to be a helper.
Yeah, well, anyway, so he'll have a meeting here coming up fairly soon. The chamber met with the city on the 4th of July, and during that meeting, the Connie, is it from the city, asked if, let me know that there will be 2 movies in the park so far, August 8th and the 22nd, and asked if Rotary could show the popcorn again. And I told her I'd let her know, but I thought that would be fine.
Oh,
And then the other thing is there was really a decent turnout last night for Aquafest. There was probably 50 people, 40, 50.
It was a decent turnout, but it was same people.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, you know, we've increased our population by way too much. And
And why is that, Mr. Mayor?
great
Wow,
question.
I'm
Great
asking.
question. And we have all these new people, we need new blood to show up, right?
try to engage our neighbors.
Yeah, anyway, I'm sorry.
It,
Send Guido on.
they had lots of ideas, and trying to redirect it to get it back to where it was a few years back. And no, there won't be a, carnival, well, could be, but likely not, but there won't be the other, thing that they,
The circus.
the circus and circus might be, but it's the other one that's not gonna, it's just not gonna happen. Just talk to Kim Daughtry and he'll give you a lengthy diatribe of how many times he's been on the phone trying to get some return, and it's not happening. The big thing is money. The city contributes a substantial amount of in-kind money through police and other help. They quoted, the amount was $75,000. But they need a lot of sponsors. Christine was on the Zoom call, and as were others. They don't have a president, they don't have a treasurer. And they need lots of volunteers. And like the mayor said, we need to get some new blood in this community that is ready to go help and go to work. Kiwanis showed up. There was about 6-7 representatives of Kiwanis there. They say they intend to do the beer garden again this year. And so it's just a matter of, I think they're gonna try and have a meeting within the next couple of weeks and see if they can get some more volunteers. But when you look at our crowd, with what we have to do with the corn booth, we have a limited number of people that also work. Out of 4950 members, we have about 25 that work, that show up every time. And so for us to try and get those 25 people to help out is difficult. Same with Kiwanis. Lions Club was not there that I know of. And hasn't, I don't think they've been there, haven't attended any of the meetings, so.
Well, they haven't had their booth in a few years.
Right.
Oh, it's,
Yeah, and so it was a good meeting, but it's still a lot of work to do, a lot of things going on, that they need to do, and it's gonna take they're gonna do it, because the city is not, going to start their construction until August 1st, I think.
Day after August.
Yeah,
Permits for everybody.
To be done
Thursday night.
Figure out what I wanna do down there.
the biggest thing that was said was by Tanya for the city, that if there is an event that is going to be planned, if somebody communicates it to her before the April requirement, she can kind of start putting it into the system. So that when it is required, she's already got the information. It's not a scramble for her. So I think that's the next venture. The next venture will be to see how many volunteers are going to be able to get and communicate with. So it's a big deal.
I had an idea, if I was able to make it, I would have presented this, maybe somebody else has come up with this, but we could have an event that is similar to the Green Lake Milk Carton boat race, but it would have to be different, because I think they still do that at Green Lake in Seattle.
My old employer, International Paper, was sponsoring it.
Yeah, but maybe we could do it with pop bottles, the larger, recyclable pop bottles. And people,
used to have a $50 boat race,
oh, what?
a $50 boat race.
Yeah,
Yeah,
$50
$50
to spend.
to do a boat.
Oh, as far as limiting the amount of money you can spend, well, what if you have a lot of recycled materials laying around the farm? It doesn't cost you anything. But anyhow, that would be kind of a interesting one, I would think. It works with the lake pretty well. The race could be in the North Cove. It's
So there's
obviously
there's
not
another
going to be,
There's another potential if a couple of our members get the award for, the lake to provide paddle boats. You could have a paddle boat race. Of all ages.
well, there's probably about 250 paddle boats scattered around the lake. Half of them are seen floating around after a windstorm in the middle of the lake, but Joyce?
Those are paddle boards. aren't
No, paddle boats, the
Paddle
four-seater,
Oh, really?
pedal boats, I guess.
Pedal
they're called. They have paddles inside, but they're
There's
pedals.
something also from last night, but there's lots of great ideas, but we really need folks to step up and execute them.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's why I said we, as in Rotary, and the nice thing about that too is that probably isn't really that much personal investment of time.
Oh, you're so naive.
Well, maybe I should clarify that during the event itself. It could be done ahead of time for the most part, as far as the organizing and that type of thing. But we would just have our brand new Rotary tent set down by the lake and hand out awards and that type of thing.
The submarine race is really big.
That's nighttime.
Less manpower.
Anyhow, that's just an idea. Yeah, if Rotary actually did something like that, we would be helping the cause. So,
They talked about even the fact that things like the duck dash are no longer. And wanted to know why, type of thing,
yeah,
like the water flow and Catherine Creek was.
yeah.
Pull
Yeah.
a 2x4 out today.
Huh?
You can pull a 2x4 out for the day and get some water.
Yeah, we could store it up the few days before and then pull
We've
it.
done that. The one time we did it was the lake was low. And so it took 2.5 hours to get, 2.5 hours to get the winner to the final.
Yeah.
And
Needed a pedal boat.
The problem with a 2x4, 4x4 or 4x8, whatever the solution is by the end of July, the boards are stacked up about 1.5 feet higher than the water level. It's just kind of like leaking through.
It leaks through the fish hole in the bottom is all.
Oh, okay.
There's a fish hole in the bottom. of it.
Oh, that's cool.
they're also looking for sponsors.
For
Need
occupants,
Kind of money.
for occupants.
That it wasn't even discussed at the meeting, and I dropped it in the chat towards the end, that they didn't even discuss the cost for rentals, like the porta potties, the tents, the canopies, the gators. And I think back when I was in Aquafest, it was $25,000. I'm sure it's $35,000 now. But people talk about sponsorship, and there's so much in-kind sponsorship in the city. They need some cash. They need an infusion of cash.
Maybe it needs to go.
Christine, who do they get the, like, it's from?
I didn't know that the rental was negative.
We're all kids, so-
Yeah, the first was here was first, but.
Okay, well, are you done, Gary, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have anything, Ron?
Yep, had a great time at Pets, a lot, it was a great event. There was about 650 president-elects that were in attendance, plus all the other speakers and vendors. So it was well over probably 1,000 people down there. First morning, we had our area meet, our district breakout, and that's pretty much the last time I saw anybody. I guess we kind of sat with people from Alaska, Idaho, so got to meet a lot of great people. Kind of invigorates you and motivates you a little bit, so that was nice. So thanks for sending me, it was awesome. This week I attended our Area J dinner up in Arlington with a key focus of mental health. Our Area J is looking at doing a mental health week for Rotary. So I'll talk to the board more about it, see what everyone that participate, but just, I think it's May 13th through 17th and nothing specific, just emphasize mental health and suicide prevention. I was thinking we could bring a speaker in, maybe we get Ken to bring a speaker in on that Friday meeting, that, you know, with a mental health focus. And then, you know, we could send out something and just blast in our website, our Facebook page with some literature that. So there's nothing set in stone, a joint single effort, but just all the clubs focus on mental health.
One of the best sessions we had was with Ryan and Brooks.
Yeah.
And that might be another, bring one or both of them back.
I think I know.
Yeah, I think you do.
Eileen,
If anybody knows anybody who needs a card or cheering up, please pay me.
nice.
And then I probably will do some sort of fireside in April.
Rustic court
I just have to
or,
get through, I want to do someplace different because we did rustic court last time. I just need to get through March first, and then once that's
Yeah.
done, I'll look at
March is kind of a busy month.
March 9th. But I think it'd be fun to do something maybe different. I'm not sure where yet, so I'm working on that.
All right, well. We need our sergeant at arms. You want to take over, James, or?
You're gonna have a staff meeting, right?
Sergeant Norris, that meeting.
All right, first thing we're gonna do is a raffle. We'll have our guests pick a ticket out of there, please. Make sure it's the right one. And read the last one. Nice and loud.
167.
One, 6, 7.
Amelia.
All right.
All right, that's only the first half, so now we gotta do the second half. Maybe we'll pull out a yellow duck. And here's your compensation. The second half is to pull out a duck that has a W. Like this one did.
Oh.
Well, all right. Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning online. Dan, are you happy?
I am super happy this morning.
Awesome. Mr. President.
Well, I'm super happy at this morning too.
Good deal.
The sun is out for a second day in a row and, yeah, I'm kind of bailing out of a lot of stuff that's been going on lately, but,
Good deal.
good stuff and okay stuff.
Yeah, I was surprised how warm it was. I got to wear a t-shirt outside for a while.
Yeah.
Sanderson, welcome back.
Thank you.
Are you happy?
I'm happy today. I'm happy because the sun is shining. I will do my happy bucks for you then.
All right. President-elect.
Very happy. Youngest daughter's turned 21 this weekend, so she is in town from Arizona. So we're gonna celebrate her 21 run, like I can stay up past 10 o'clock. And then my other daughter, my oldest daughter is having her gender reveal party this week, so.
All right.
I'm gonna be grandpa to a boy or girl.
No,
I'm pretty sure it's.
All right.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
What are you happy about today?
Well, I am happy these are freshly printed. I'm happy that it is Friday and that we have 2 weeks to go for our gala and things are coming together quite nicely and I'm getting some ink today. And that always makes me happy.
Wow. You gotta reveal it next week for us?
It's
or-
not done. I need
Oh, there's more.
2
Work in
more
progress.
sittings after. Yeah, sorry.
We put it next time.
I know, sorry, I need more coffee. What you need? Leaves? Yeah, no, we don't need any of that. And I'm not baking bread anything.
I'm happy that it's nice and light out in the morning. I left the house before 7 o'clock and it wasn't like that.
Yeah, I got home yesterday after work and it's still light out, which is a rarity.
Morning, Joyce. Good to see you.
I'm happy to be here as always, and I have this little girl next to me. She is absolutely wonderful. I don't know what I would have done this last week.
Yeah.
So, this, you know, I'm listening to all of the things that are going on that I can't do, and it just, I want to do something.
Well, that's why you get the straw hat, you get to tell everybody.
But you know, that like Arco passed, you know, all of those things keep coming back into my head, and I'm like, that was so much fun.
We understand. Morning, Doc.
I have a sad caller. My dad passed away last week. As many of you know, I took over the dental practice from him, so the hardest part has been every time I see a patient, it's like, this was my dad's patient, you know, or this was my dad's patient's kid. So it's been tough. Thank you for the flowers and Rotary. But it was not unexpected and he is in a better place. So, we love you and thank you very much. And I'm happy to be Joyce's sidekick.
Happy to be here.
What is that? What did you just do?
Venmo.
Oh,
Venmo.
So much fun.
Yeah, and you don't have.
I'm not looking to show it.
Our new house.
Yeah, we did the house. Michigan.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to this week, kind of. I love the YMCA and all that it does for so many different folks, gives them opportunity for belonging. So I will be showing my dedication to YMCA by sitting on an indoor cycle bike and cycling for 8 hours on Wednesday straight.
Oh,
I'll get off to the back.
Good.
Then it doesn't, it's just 8 hours and just that.
Love that.
There are ways where you don't have to.
Guy, I'm gonna get off of it.
Yeah.
And then there's. And so I'm trying to raise funds, if anyone is interested in sending QR code. It's not supporting me, right? It's supporting strangers and families and the community around us. I look at pictures.
The artwork.
That was my rally.
I would like to throw some happy bucks and proud bucks for city staff. If you've not seen the press release, we in the process of doing our city hall project, museum project, we went out to get bond money for that. And when you go through that process, you have to get your Moody's rating re-looked at. And when we went into that process, we were a AA2. And surprisingly, we didn't think that we weren't even expecting it. They gave us a AA1 rating. The only other higher rating is a AAA. There's 7 cities in the state that have a AA1. There's 5 cities that have a AAA. And one of the things that they noted, a reason why, was strength of governance in our policies and procedures and how we are efficient in providing services. So super great testament to the staff over the last 3-4 years, really refining what we do as a city and being better at spending taxpayer dollars. Super proud of staff. So, yeah, if you see any of them, I'm not staff,
You're voted
I'm just the mayor,
elected, or staff.
I'm staff.
No, they're not, you're elected.
Sure.
Mr. Jackson. All right.
Thank you for Lauren's party, for Tracy being part of that, and also the Granite Falls, I guess, bowls, hungry bowls, and Granite Ball training. It was pretty good. They had a lot of people go for that.
All right.
I'm happy.
I'm coming back to you.
Must be fine.
That's something.
All right, well, I came in during the opening ceremony, so that's my plan. Miss Debbie, another buck, if you were a super last name, there you go.
Yeah, and I'll still today, so.
And while you were not here yet, we got some announcement about you,
What's that?
that you're gonna be eating country.
Going to hungry.
Oh, you're getting hungry. You're going to hungry.
Oh, yes.
You gotta be here for the
I don't
fun.
think I'm going hungry for this body.
You gotta be here for the fun.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And Jack thought you should feed them turkey.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm late. My car had frost on it, but I say because my garage is used for storage and my storage. So, well, it's like, I thought that would be done with that.
Garages are for cars.
Yeah, they used to be. Anyway, sorry about you to ask, Tracy. Happy Buck, well, kind of a little story. Happy Buck, I might be proud owner of a new property in Ocean Shores next week if the transaction from hell wraps up next week. And that will be my second Happy Buck is to get that transaction done.
Party at Ocean Shores, I can
Yeah,
tell.
exactly.
Yes.
I'm happy today is Friday. I have so many things to do. And because our meeting gets shorter, I have that time to get everything done.
All right.
Thank you.
Good deal. Mr. Luck of the Irish.
Well, it was fun having the T-Bird top down yesterday, all day. Enjoyed riding around. People looked at me like I was crazy, but that's okay. And I didn't have a lot of heavy clothing on, and that probably made him think about that too. And the meetings, this week with the city and, Aquafest and everything that's going on, it's at least getting creative. It's at least fun to see people trying to do something for the betterment of the city. And Tracy, we feel your pain. We know how that goes through.
We got a letter, a note back from Nicole Ellis, who was with us recently about Camp Corey. Thank you so much for sharing our newsletter with her and letting her come and share about the camp. You have a fantastic club, she writes. Mr. Past President.
Yes, I'm glad it's Friday, being around great positive people and everything, it's always fun, and the city's doing great, and Joyce and Lauren, that was a great party, and so everything is percolating, so happy Friday, I bet. Yeah.
Brother.
Well, I think we're ready for our presentation. So, Danielle, tell us about Snow Swift. You can be wherever you want.
Hide my handwritten notes here. I'll just make them fall. All right. Where's the camera at? I want to stay away from that. Hi, thank you for having me. Sorry, my voice is going in and out, so if it cracks on you, I apologize. My name is Danielle. I am the owner of, as far as I know, the only swim school here in town. That is located nowhere currently because we're moving it to my new house, but about 3 years ago, my husband got this crazy idea to finish our garage so I could get out of the classroom. I was a special education teacher for 10 years. And
My license expires in June and it will be the second best day of my life.
So you sold your boat already?
No, it still have both. Still have both. So 3 years ago, my husband said, well, hey, why don't we finish this other garage and put a pool in it and you can teach swim lessons? And I told him he was absolutely crazy. And I unhelpful as far as, you know, new career goals for getting out of the classroom. And 2 weeks roughly went by and I saw in Lake Stevens community page on Facebook and the mom's page and through talking with a bunch of my other friends, how difficult it was for them to find swim lessons for their kids, specifically for kids under 4, which is what I specialize in. So I've been competitive swimmer since I was 6. I'm currently a competitive ice swimmer. I know. If you find the Ice Queen mug at the brewery, that's me. I swim in the lake year round. During COVID is when I started doing that while the pool shut down, just to get some yards in because we couldn't go anywhere. So swimming's always been part of my life. And I started teaching swim lessons when I was probably 14 or 15 at the local pool in my neighborhood. And 20 years later, I'm still doing it. So give me a note here. You're all throwing in happy bucks everywhere. Now I get to talk about the #1 leading cause of death in kids from age 1 to 4, which is drowning. Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Oh, so the Red Cross has 5 skills that they list as, quote, being able to swim. And while I believe for Americans, it's 80% of Americans will say that they know how to swim, but through Red Cross studies, they found that only 46% of Americans can actually do the 5 skills that are counted as being able to swim. The first of which is stepping or jumping into water that is deeper than your head, being able to surface from that water and float or tread for 1 minute. Right. You're keeping me honest over there.
I've seen it from that.
The third is being able to turn around in a full 360 degrees to find an exit, either in a pool or open water. The fourth being swimming for at least 25 yards to get to the exit without stopping, which is the standard length of a pool. And the fifth and last one, which I struggle with at the high school pool, is getting out without a ladder. Because that high school pool deck is about this tall from the water. And having to push up is a little bit difficult. So those are the 5 skills that the Red Cross lists as being able to swim. However, a 1-year-old doesn't do that so well. So what I focus on with little guys is rolling over and floating on their back. I don't teach treading water. I think that's just ludicrous. Don't understand that. Just because if you can tread water, you have enough energy to swim to an exit. You shouldn't just sit there and slowly drown. You should just go get out.
Not to mention you burn, I think, have a lot more energy than
Yeah.
floating. on
Oh,
your
yeah.
back.
Oh, yeah. My favorite quote that I get from adults all the time is, well, I can't float. And that is not true. A good half of your body is air. So you're gonna float no matter what. It's just a matter of being comfortable enough and calm in the water, and calm enough in the water to be able to manage your body that way. A couple of fun facts about swimming. It is the only activity that could save your life, the only sport that could save your life as well as your child. It is the leading cause of death in children under the age of 4, and it is the second leading cause of accidental injuries and death in kids ages 5 to 9. 88% of drownings occur in the presence of an adult. Yeah, 88%. It is most often silent. I don't know, there are some videos on YouTube, which I would advise you to watch with caution, of actual drownings, and you don't know what's happening. You cannot hear it. Interestingly enough, 88% is also the decreased risk that's been shown of drowning in kids ages 1 to 4 who are exposed to swim lessons before that age. And I believe, both personally and professionally, that that is because kids who are exposed to the water in swim lessons learn how to hold their breath and they're calm. They can figure out where to go if they were to fall in the water. So that's what my lessons focus on, is survival and not swimming to people. Teaching the kids how to locate a wall or how to locate the stairs. I have a little platform in my pool that the kids swim to and get up onto. I start kids as young, officially start kids as young as 6 months. My youngest that I've had in my pool is 3 weeks, she's my little niece. So she would get in while her brother was swimming and playing around, and I would just hold her, and I do put her underwater at 3 weeks of age, and she starts holding her breath, or she started holding her breath within about 4 dunks or so, 3-4 dunks.
What about those first 3?
So I time them very specifically. There is some coughing, but what you're looking for in your first underwater submersion of any child is to time it with their own breathing. So you give them a cue, which is usually 1, 2, 3 for me. And I watch their breathing while I'm counting, and then after 3, I wait for the next inhale and just underwater a little bit. Usually, when they come back up, it's not anything specific. If you do get coughing, that's actually a good sign. That means their body is doing what it's supposed to and keeping the water out of their lungs. And again, the younger you start them in the water, the easier it is, and the less of a big deal it is when they fall in. So, couple of fun things from when I first started. Initially, when I opened, I had a teeny tiny little pool that actually the water was about this deep here. When I first had my little itty bitty pool inside of our garage, and I opened it up just to a few friends and friends of friends who had kids, just to see kind of what the interest was. And within, let's see here, when I made my one public post that I ever made about this, when I first started, I filled up within 3 hours. So I went from nobody to about 30, 40, 35 clients in that first 3 hours. Currently I do an average over a month, I do 80 lessons a week. Yeah, 70 in my pool. And then as kids get ready to graduate and move on to, or as they get ready to graduate from the survival aspect of it and start learning more actual swimming and stamina building, I take them to the high school pool. And we do lessons there so that they can generalize their skills and see that if you can swim in 3 feet of water, you can swim in 12 feet of water. So I do, during open swim times, I recently started doing some lap swim times there. So on any given weekend, I'll do 6 to 10 lessons on the high school, or at the high school, excuse me, and then 70 per week in my pool. Now that I'm out of the city, I do not, I'm gonna expand that. So the city, yeah. So the city has a limit of 10 home-based business clients per week, or excuse me, per day. So now that I'm in the county land and not the city land, I can get a lot more than that. So that is my goal now. What?
I didn't know that was a thing.
You do now.
There's a lot of.
Yeah. So I very specifically said 70 classes per week because the city code, it states that it's an average of 10 round trip clients per day. So if anybody came and said, you know, you're not supposed to do that, I can say, well, actually, 70 averaged into 4 days is great. So,
If I could ask a question back here, when you say what percentage of drownings happen?
in the presence of an adult,
Well, that one, and then your first point about the deaths.
Uh-huh.
So are most of those deaths like in swimming pools, lakes?
yeah.
rivers,
So children age 1 to 4, if it's more than half, I believe it's around 60% of drownings occur in swimming pools. And of those 60%, I think it was about 85% of them are at family functions. So barbecues, birthday parties, whatever, in the, you know, nearby a pool. When you have 20, 30 adults around and everybody thinks, you know, somebody else is watching or listening. Because again, when you think of drowning, you think of, you know, Jaws or all the movies that they show where you're thrashing around and doing whatever. If you're thrashing, you're not drowning. I've seen drownings before and it is completely silent. You don't hear anything. Once that drowning reflex kicks in, your body freezes and your head goes back and you're just kind of bouncing to stay above. And children can only do that for up to probably about a minute or so. But yeah, and they can't call out because your brain, you go into that fight or flight mode, or freeze, and in the water, it's usually freeze. And if your body's trying to clear the water from your airway, you're not gonna be able to make any noise. you're just gonna be coughing underwater, because that's when it's gonna happen. So, I know, in the presence of an adult was surprising to me, doing research on all that. But I had, when I started, watching my time here. When I first started swimming or teaching swim lessons professionally in my early 20s, I had a little girl come to me who was about 8, who had been in swim lessons she was 6. She'd been in swim lessons for 2 years or so at a different location. I'm gonna delve into one of my non-negotiables, which Brett knows, is that I don't let the kids wear goggles initially. I have them just in case, and if a child is used to wearing goggles, then I phase them out. But this little girl came to me when she was 6, and she'd been in swim lessons for 2 years, and they'd never taken goggles off of her. She'd only ever worn the goggles in the water. And so she was at a family function, family birthday party, and she fell in the pool and she drowned. She did survive, but she was in the hospital for a month or 2. And her parents thought she could swim, but when she fell in the water, she didn't have goggles on and she didn't know what to do. So, yeah. So I don't use goggles until the kids are comfortable opening their eyes underwater. And even when they are comfortable, I will always take the goggles off at least once per lesson so that they maintain that skill. Because yeah, it sucks getting water in your eyes, but it's not gonna kill you. So.
So with your relocation, you hoping to expand your client base, lesson opportunities?
I would love to. So some long-term goals. I would love to get a commercial space, open up, expand, get more instructors, get more kids, get a swim team going. Right now, my waiting list is sitting at almost 450 families. The last round of people I've signed up back in January, we're waiting for 14 months to get into swim lessons. I know the high school, trying to get into swim lessons at the high school, people, families have to line up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And they're there for 3-4 hours trying to get in. So it's not a problem unique to me, but it is very much, it's a problem around the city and Snohomish County. I will be doing group lessons at the new location.
And you have been doing
Private, yeah. I will, the most amount of children I have in the water right now is 2. And that's just so I can have one in my hands and the other in my sight. So once I get a little more or a few more group lessons going, my plan is to hire a lifeguard so that I can have 3 to 4 kids in the water. Especially with the evening lessons, because I only do evenings 2 days a week right now, and that's only 10 lessons post 5 o'clock or post school hours. The rest of the time is all between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. And like I said, I do 70 a week. So 60 of those are during the day.
Age-wise, what's your age difference?
Officially, my youngest right now that I have enrolled is 8 months old. The oldest one I have is 15, but again, with my special ed background, I take on kids who don't do so well in the group lessons at the aquatic center or the high school. My 15-year-old right now, he's getting ready to graduate. And when he first started, he would come down the ladder like this and he refused to get his shoulders under. We spent the first 2 lessons just getting his shirt wet. And now we've gone on the high school pool a couple times and he's jumping in there and we're getting him ready for snorkeling trip in Hawaii this summer.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the average, start teaching kids to swim, like 3 months, I guess, it sounds like, or,
The average age?
I mean, the average age to start swim lessons. When do you start swim lessons, I guess?
If I had my own children, as soon as their belly button healed,
Oh.
I would start getting them in the water. Yeah, I was 6 weeks old when my mom put me in the water in lessons for the first time. I have my first bathing suit. It's like framed in my little space. It's about this big. With a picture of my dad holding me next to, I was born in San Diego. We had a pool in our backyard. And a picture of my dad squatting down next to me on the outside of the pool. But as early as possible, they do pretty well. Yeah.
I have a grandson that's 12 years old, special needs, Down syndrome.
Mhm.
And there was a lady that used to come over to Lake Forest Lake Forest Park.
Mhm.
And teach kids with special needs.
Mhm.
And he really, really, really enjoyed the water, and it's been really difficult for them to find anybody
Mhm.
to teach a special needs kid. And so, well, she's got 450.
So I do keep a separate wait list for children with special needs. It's still 6 months or so, 6 to 7 months for that. But again, my background, several families, specifically with children with Down syndrome, have come to me and said that they've been flat out turned away from other swim lessons, which I found interesting because the facilities here are owned by the school district. And that's a civil rights violation to turn people away. But I do keep a separate shorter list, for special needs. Even that one though, at this point, I think has 25 families on it, 25 or 30 about.
You should get a pool in the garage, explain that.
Yeah.
So the house that we just sold last week, had 2 oversized 2-car garages. So the initial garage was huge, and the previous owner added on a second garage, which was bigger than the first garage. And my husband will tell you all day long that he should have just shut up 3 years ago, because that was his kind of space, where the truck was, his tools, all that stuff. But it was his idea, so he had to go with it. The initial setup, the first pool was really, really small. If I did not want to get my bathing suit wet, I didn't have to. I would just go on my tippy toes. And it took up if you're facing the garage door, it took up about the left third or so. 2 years ago today, we woke up to find that the pool had actually caught fire and almost burned down the whole garage. So from that, thankfully insurance hadn't gone crazy at that point. But from that, I was able to upgrade to a pool that's now 16 feet long and 10 feet wide. So now it's in the front half of the garage, parallel to the garage door. And then the back half, there's a little half bathroom and a couch for parents to wait at while their kids are in the water.
So just like commercial above grade pool.
Yeah. Yeah, the one I have right now. It's a specific to saltwater, because I have a saltwater system instead of chlorine for the littles. And myself, I'd be crawling out of my skin if I was in chlorine for 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Saltwater, yeah.
You can float better in salt water than.
You need a lot more salt to float better, but yeah. Yeah. So it's a 4,500 gallon pool, and I want to say we put 220 pounds of salt in it for 4,500 gallons. Yeah. The salt percentage on that is about 12%, I think. And if memory serves, like the sound or ocean water is about 25% or so. The Dead Sea is way more than that, which is the one where you float really well.
And that just helps with all the bacterial kind of.
Salt water? So salt water is still chlorine. It's just not as aggressive chlorine as a traditional pool. There's a special piece of equipment that's put in line with the filtration called a chlorinator. And what it does is either ionizes or deionizes. I wasn't so good at science. The sodium and the chlorine ions apart. The chlorine then activates and sanitizes the pool and then rebinds into salt. So just not as harsh on skin and eyes.
What district did you teach?
Everett. I was in Everett for 4 years. Before that, I lived in Colorado and taught there for 6 years.
It's a great opportunity for kids. I took swim lessons as a youngster too.
Mhm. My favorite, I've heard from many, many parents, I've heard how the kids learn to blow their nose from swim lessons. And that like is the parents' favorite skill, like favorite useful skill that their kids get from swimming is learning how to blow their nose. The 15-year-old actually never learned to blow his nose, and now no problem. All good.
I'll say I'm very thankful for Danielle and what she does. We have both Weston and Easton every Wednesday morning taking swim lessons from her. She does a great job. Boys look forward. They didn't initially look forward to it, but now they talk about it. And I should say Weston talks about it. Easton probably talks about it when we can't understand it. But, they just do a great job. She does a great job with them and you can tell, over time, just the amount of skills they picked up and their life-saving skills.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dan. Yeah.
It's all about confidence to be successful or whatever.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That was very interesting. You know, this is a reminder, one of our members opened the Creators House.
Okay.
And it was an eye opener to them that, you know, that's set up for all of this, including us.
Yep.
The overwhelming response was from parents with younger children, just, you know, the same story. It's like, there's nothing here, no place to take your kid. And I'm glad to see businesses starting up that cater to that. And, yeah.
We're getting a lot of young families lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Adjourn.
There we are.
Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm more like that.